I'm a member of the Palmetto Woodturners group, which is a chapter of the AAW, and we recently got a design from Women in Turning group in AAW of wig stands. And they've asked us to turn some of these for cancer survivors or cancer victims to put their wigs on as they go through chemo. So the design is pretty simple. This is the key document, and I'll put this in the video. But basically, it's a 6-inch bottom, an 1.5 inches thick, a mushroom that's a 5-inch diameter to start with, and 2 inches thick, and an 1.5 inch square turning block to make the stem. So that's what the video is about. I hope you enjoy it. So I started off laminating Wenge, Padauk, and Brazilian oak together, and these are roughly 1/2 inch slices. I'm going for a base of 6-inch diameter, an 1.5 inch thick, the top 5-inch diameter, and 2-inch thick, both out of this piece. And then I'm making a stem, which is this piece, with the same woods. I'm going with a piece of Wenge that's 1 inch square in the middle. I am going to laminate the Padauk on the sides, like that. But first I've got to flatten this piece out a little bit, the Brazilian oak a little bit wider. So I'm going to drum sand these down just like I did on these pieces. So now it's drum sanded. Now everything should fit really well. So it's ready to laminate together. I am going to drum sand this one down too, just to make it easier to find the center and control it on and set it up on the lathe basically. So I've drawn 2 circles on here. One's for the bottom, which I do is just bigger than 6 inches, and then one for the top that's just bigger than 5 inches. So I'm going to cut these on the bandsaw, then I can put them on the lathe to turn. So I marked both centers, and it's mounted on the lathe between centers. It's got a slight wobble to it, but this one especially needs to be turned down a bit anyway. It's too thick. So I'm going to start with a bowl gouge and make it round, and then start working the insides. I'll show a little bit of the turning. So I've turned the top to be concave so that rings and coins or anything will stay on the top here. I will be drilling a hole exactly where that drive center is, and the hole will be 3/4 of an inch, which will be a little bit bigger than that. I also bellied out the sides. I am going to make the bottom a bit concave too, just so it sits on the rim. So this will be the top, and I'll drill a hole there, which will take away that. I'll do a little bit more sanding just on the outer part. This nub, I cut it off using the cutoff tool and the saw. But now I'm going to Dremel it down so that it's not sticking up, and then I'll sand the middle with a disc sander. We'll try sanding it from there. So here's the finished product for the bottom, other than the hole, which I'll show how to drill when I drill both holes. So that nub sanded out pretty well. So I've got the top or the mushroom mounted now, and it's the same process. So this is pretty well the finished shape. I'm going to sand, and then again I'll do the same thing where I either cut or just Dremel this nub off and sand it down. The final step of this is to drill a hole 3/4 to an inch deep to set the post into. Because this has a round top, I'm using this piece of wood with a hole in it to stabilize it, to hold it flat. And if you don't have something like that, you can use a roll of masking tape or something to hold it. Okay, that should do it. I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom, which right, stem is round, and this is basically going to be the length that you can see. Then there'll be a post on both ends, or a tenon that goes into the holes in both of them. This is 10.5 inches long, which will make the total height about 13.5, 14 inches. So at this stage, I have the tenons cut. These are 0.74 or 745 diameter, so they should fit in the 3/4 inch hole. And this lip will rest on the top and the bottom. So from here, I don't need to measure anymore. I can just go freehand. Okay, so the candlestick that goes in the middle is turned and shaped. All that's left is sanding, and I won't show that on the video. I am ready for the glue up. I'm going to start with the top, and I'm using this roll of masking tape to hold it because I want to be able to glue and have any excess glue run down into the hole rather than run all over the stick.